Welcome to today's practice. Today what we're going to do is work on the spine. We're going to work on energizing the spine, so building some heat, some life up around both lines of the spine, looking at the direction that the spine moves in, so we don't just lean forward, although we spend most of our day like that. The spine has the ability to move back and side to side, and also creating twists. So we have energy lines running up and down the sides of the spine, and those are the ones that we're going to get moving. So it's a nice morning practice, an energizing practice, or it's a good practice just before you're going to be doing some sport to get the energy, the prana moving around the body. So first of all, let's bring our awareness into the body. The best way we can do that is find a comfortable position, allow the spine to lengthen. Let's close our eyes together. Just take that lovely first inhale when you're making that commitment to your practice, that expansion, knowing all the time that the posture doesn't exist without the breath. So we need to link in with the breath. And that is the quickest and the best way to get us out of this active mind, this overthinking mind, where we spend way too much of our time neglecting this wonderful body that we ask so many demands from it. So many things that we don't even think about what's going on into the body, just taking it for granted. So let's give it some energy. Let's look after the spine. Think about the wonderful line of the spine, the discs in alignment, the spine neutral, its natural curves. And also think about how the breath works with the energy of the spine. We expand the rib cage. We expand the muscles, the connective tissue. Many of this is connected, these are connected to the spine. Remember, nothing in the body is separate. So as we expand out, the rib cage expands. The muscles connecting to the rib cage down to the spine lengthen. And as we breathe out with a nice deep exhale, we allow those muscles to soften, just to become aware of them. Let's do that a few more times. Think about the muscles around the shoulders, underneath the arms, back of the body, chest, stomach, even down to the pelvic floor. All involved in a full, deep yogic breath, a natural way of breathing. Nice deep inhale. And then exhale. And then we're just going to check into the neck before we do anything with our back, because if you're doing a morning practice, sometimes we have tightness around the neck from sleeping awkwardly. So let's just check into there by bringing the chin down towards the chest, and just notice the length of the stretch. As you bring the chin down towards the chest, where does that stretch descend to? As I bring slowly with awareness my chin down towards the chest, I can feel this radiating all the way down through the muscles of the back. So we're not just working the top of the neck, but relax the shoulders. Don't allow the shoulders to lift up when we reach tension. Relaxing, relaxing. And then when you reach that comfortable stretch, just rest there for a few moments. That stretch that you can feel it down the back, but it's not discomfort. It is just a stretch of the muscles. We could push it more, but we don't want to do that. Just sit with that comfortable stretch, and then gently bring the chin up towards the center, a nice neutral spine. And let's bring the left ear over to the left shoulder as we gently allow those muscles to soften, bringing the ear to the shoulder, not the chin, not allowing the chin to come up towards the ceiling, but getting this lovely line of stretch down through the neck muscles, down into the shoulder, even radiating down into the pectoral muscles. This lovely stretch I can feel radiating now underneath my collarbone. And then bring the head out. Let's neutralize the neck before we come over to the other side. And then gently lengthening over to the other side. So you might be someone that holds tension into your neck, upper back, shoulders. It's a nice gentle stretch. Again, don't force it, don't find that absolute maximum, just find a nice gentle stretch where you can feel radiating around. And especially if you do have tightness around the neck, just give it time to unfold. And then release. Let's rock over into our cat-cow. So we're going to be in cat-cow position. Let me just move my block out of the way. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. And we're going to start energizing the spine. So we've come from a cold body. We haven't done any warming up. So this is our warming up of the spine, energizing. So we're going to extend the right leg back and try and keep it in line with the back. So you can go up higher, but you create more of a dip and then a push into the front of the hand. So try and keep that neutral line. And then take the left arm out in front, keeping your balance. Nearly went there. Looking down at the floor is a good way of keeping that balance. And we're trying to get to that point where we can feel the heat building up in the back. So I'm going to take a few nice rounds of breath, and I can just start feeling it now. I can start feeling some heat building up around the energy lines of the spine. I'm not going to hold this too long because it's our first movement, so I'm going to bring my hand back down and then rock back, bringing your tailbone back towards your heels. And notice we're not into a full child. What I want us to do is lengthen the spine, but it's a very gentle back bend, very, very gentle back bend as we're bringing the chest forward. So we're not rounding down as we would do into child pose, but allowing the chest to come forward, literally the heart center coming out in front rather than rounding down. And we'll have 5 breaths there. Finding that length through the body, relax the shoulders, keep those neck muscles nice and soft. It's just about activating the muscles around the middle back here. Couple more breaths, enjoying that lengthening. One more nice deep inhale. Let's bring some awareness into the back of the body. Breathing, finding expansion and release. And then let's bring the body back up into our cat-cow. Drawing the navel up slightly. So we've not got tension in the stomach, but we've got awareness in the stomach. And then taking the leg out behind. So we've got the left leg and now the right arm. So make sure you've got opposites to create your balance. And then we do exactly the same. Now try not to sink down so you feel it really into the wrist. Literally push the left hand away from you, pushing the ground away from you. Keeping this nice long line. Taking a few more rounds of breath. Breathing, finding that heat, that energy building up again into the back of the body. You can feel it radiating up around the spine, the muscles. And 2 more breaths here. Breathing and releasing. And 1 more breath. And relaxing, then coming back down. And we're going to take our knees a little bit wider than hip distance. Bring the tailbone down towards the heels. And come this time coming down onto our forearms. So again, we're not into a traditional child pose. And here we're going to do slight little movements, rounding the spine. So drawing the chin into the chest. And then opening up and bringing the chest forward. So remember, this is not about the neck. It's not about getting stuck about here and then lifting the chin up. So you can keep looking down. It's about, however small the movement is, a gentle bringing the chest forward. And then rounding back up. Taking some nice deep breaths as we go. Remember catching all the time that deeper awareness of the posture with the breath. Enjoying that fluidity. So when you're working on these lovely deep movements, checking in with the breath just allows that energy to flow much more freely. Let's have 2 more. Rounding up, drawing the chin down, coming up between the shoulder blades. Gentle activation of the arms. And then this nice release as we scoop down, bringing the chest forward, keeping the chin low so we're not using just the chin forward, keeping it nice and low, and then release, bringing the body back up into the tabletop position, draw the knees back in so they're underneath, actually a little bit closer than hip distance, just slightly. And we're going to take this right leg back, so back to that first position, right leg back, left arm forward, and we're going to do 3 movements. We bring the elbow towards the knee, so drawing the knee in towards the chest, and then release. And we're going to have the second one, in, and release, try to keep your balance, and again, in, and release, and then this time we're going to take the leg round towards the hip, so we're in line with the hip, holding for 2 breaths there, One more breath. And release. And here we're going to then come down into our traditional child pose as we release the shoulders, taking the arms to the side, the knees are together, and we're going to bring the forehead down onto the ground. Palms faced up, allow the arms to flop down, allow the shoulders to flop down towards the ground. Nice deep inhales. Just enjoying that breath. Deep inhales. And then bring our awareness into the back of the body again. Child's pose is not just to hang out here, just taking a few rounds of breath. What we want to do is move the muscles in the back of the body. Let's find that connection all the way down the spine. And then release. Let's bring the body back up. Now I'm just going to turn around so I don't knock the wall with my leg as I bring the left leg out. So this time, remember, we're on the other side. We're going to send our left leg behind and then the right arm. And we're going to do those 3 movements, elbow to knee, drawing the knee in towards the body, touching the elbow, and then back out again. And again, in towards the knee, touching the elbow. And release. And then one more in, holding the position. And then release, then bring the hand to the side and then bring the leg round to the side. So here we're going to have 2 breaths, holding the leg at the side, getting some strength work, breathing and releasing. One more breath. And release. And then this time we're coming down into a nice wide angled child's pose, taking the knees all the way out to the side, bringing the bottom down, take the arms out in front. And then allow the forehead to come down. We're bringing the chest down towards the earth. And here, let's see how much or how close we can get down towards the ground with the chest. And we have 5 nice deep breaths here, really working the muscles of the spine, the muscles of the back supporting the spine. Nice deep awareness. Notice your foundations, your arms, your forehead. The legs, top of your feet. Two more nice deep breaths. And then release, then coming back onto the forearms, walking your feet out so you're in a forearm plank. So here what we want to do is activate the whole of the core muscles. So remember, the core muscles aren't just the stomach, they're the back and the pelvic floor as well. Making sure we're not collapsing into the shoulders, pushing the earth away from us. Again, activate, build some heat into the body. Taking some nice deep breaths. One more nice deep breath. And then coming down towards the ground, grabbing hold of your block and then placing the block just onto the rib cage, the base of the rib cage. Spine in position. And here we're going to relax into a supported Sphinx pose. So find the comfortable position. Move it around a little bit until you find that where you can rest there for a few moments. And here we've got our elbows directly underneath the shoulders. I want you to relax your glutes. And then we're just literally going to work with 5 deep breaths. So let's close our eyes, relax the shoulders, finding again a position that is supported through the spine. So we're using the block to support us. And then we're just allowing the spine its natural curve. Let's close our eyes, 5 nice deep breaths. Breathing in, bringing that energy all around the spine, thinking about the spine, all the connected muscles, these beautiful discs that create movement. Well, they don't create movement, but they allow the shock absorbers of the movement of the vertebrae. As we twist, let's bring some lovely, fresh oxygen down to those cells. Breathing and releasing, enjoying this amazing structure, our natural curves, all the muscles supporting, even when we have any sort of degeneration into the spine. If we can build the strength, build the strength of the supportive connective tissue, we make a huge difference to the health of our spine and the quality of our life. So creating strong back muscles is so vitally important. And then let's bring our hands underneath, move the block out of the way, and then we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So tucking the toes under, and just a quick recap of your downward facing dog. Now, if a lot of you have been doing alignment yoga, let me just come out for a moment, a lot of you have been doing alignment yoga, then you were taught to have this middle finger coming in line with the top of the mat. But that's dependent, the position of your hands are very much dependent on the shape of your shoulders. So find the position that feels nice and comfortable and freeing into the shoulders. We don't want to feel scrunched up. We want to make sure we've got space between the arms and the ears. The shoulders aren't scrunched up around the neck. And if you're putting your hands into a position which is creating this change into the shape of the shoulder joint, then it's not going to be comfortable. Downward facing dog is an amazing posture to energize the back of the body. Breathing, and we're going to have 4 more deep breaths here. Breathing and releasing, just enjoying the strength of downward facing dog. This energy coming from the toes, grounding down into the earth, up the back of the legs, through the body, and equally from the hands radiating up, this lovely line of energy. One more nice deep breath. And then release. Let's come into a cross-legged position. So again, use your foam block or your cushion to lift up, to find more freedom into the back of the body. And then let's find a comfortable position for you. And then we're just going to have a few rounds of breath coming out of downward facing dog, relaxing the shoulders. You should start to feel the back of the body a little bit more fluid, a little bit more energized. And let's just bring a few twists in. So we're going to take the arms around the body, just hooking into the shoulder blades. Relax the shoulders down. Close our eyes, and let's just create these lovely circular, semicircular movements. Working in a nice relaxed way. Still moving the muscles, but starting to slow the body down. Nice deep inhales. Let's have a couple more. And then relax, bringing the hands down into Namaste. Let's close our eyes, bring our awareness, our internal awareness back to that lovely spine, starting from the base chakra, the base down into the area of the pelvic floor, the genitals, and then rising that energy up and down, grounding down into the earth with our masculine energy and rising up towards the sky with our feminine energy. The spine, this wonderful energy line where we hold our spinal column and all these nerves radiating out, these pathways of energy radiating out through the spine. Relaxing the shoulders. Thinking about bringing all the time spine back into its natural alignment, relaxing and strengthening. Let's have 4 more deep breaths, bringing gratitude to the practice of the yoga, bringing a sense of commitment to our practice, to our health. One more breath. And then release. Namaste and enjoy your day.